We are 3 days away from 2026 and you don't have your goals written down. If you don't have your goals written down, I would recommend you 100% that you start to write them down now. Because when you look at these goals by the end of this year and you notice that you have achieved them all, that's going to be one of the best feelings you're going to have. And you might even lose track of this goals that are written somewhere in your computer. Maybe it's in your paperwork, or maybe it's on your phone, or it's on your notebooks. Well, why does this matter so much? Because when you write down your goals, you're letting your brain know where you're heading. You're letting your subconscious and your conscious mind know where you're heading. And there's nothing more important than reprogramming your brain. When you reprogram your mind for the next year, you say, this is what I want, this is what I want, this is what I want to work on. I'll give you really valuable examples that had helped me to make my goals easier to reach, to read, to make sure they function for me. For example, if I want to become a certain type of person, that means I want a different identity, or I want to work on my identity or the identity that I'm developing. So what do? I work on my values. What are your core values? If you don't know what your core values are, I will recommend you 100% to go to ChatGPT and ask for all the values that exist. I have written down so many that I have found that I really value consistency, perseverance, responsibility, leadership, creativity, integrity, and many other ones. And by knowing all these things, I know what I need to work more on. So first, I start with my values, what will help me achieve the goals that I want. For example, I want to become somebody that is really consistent so that I can do the things that I like every day without feeling guilty for not doing them. If for me it's really valuable to show up in my channel and make content and give value and teach and do what makes me happy, then that means that I have to show up every day. But if I don't have consistency, I don't do that. And by not doing that, I feel guilty. But what I have found out is that you have to have awareness. Just being aware that you're not being consistent, or being aware that at the end of the year, you can look back and see, all right, what did it work this year that I can do better next year? And that's what I noticed. I said, I took a very strong decision in 2025, which was I want to start making content and make content based on things that I like to share and talk about. And plus, I live in a place where I'm most of the time alone or with my husband, and we're both doing our own thing or working on our business that we share in common. And so I feel like a sense of connection when I get to do my content, when I talk, because I get to talk about what I like and I get to teach, which is one of my other favorite things to do. And so I set this goal for 2026 that I want to be 100% consistent in what I set myself to do. This is the first thing that helps me so much, just to find out the values that are going to help me reach bigger goals. Then the other thing that I do is, of course, I review the whole year that had passed, like 2025. What did I do really well? What did I achieve this year? A lot of people goes year after year without even thinking about the things that they have achieved. And so the best thing that you can do is first find out what your values are and what you want to work on your next year, and review your year and see what you have done this year that was really good and what you want to improve on. The third valuable skill that really helps me with my goals is reprogramming my brain with books, with journaling, writing, or even listening to mentors. This year, I have set the goal as well of listening to so many mentors. I have very specific mentors that some of them are doing exactly what I'm doing, and some of them have done seminars and other things, and they have written books. I have many mentors, and they are the reason why I'm so inspired to share these things, because I come from a childhood where my mental programming was completely different than how I think now. And it's like if I have found a structure, if I have found the right recipe to not think the way I used to think, and now when I visit my family or I see my family and I hear them talk, I think, oh, this is probably the reason why you're stuck in your life or in your finances because of the way you're thinking. So if you can reprogram your mind to not think in scarcity and think more of abundance, and that for you to get value you have to give value, you have to show up in a way and get more valuable. Once you find out what it is for you, you won't be worrying much about money or finances or other things. You'll be thinking, okay, so I have to work on reprogramming my mind every day. And this is something that you have to do every day with no exception. It doesn't stop that you have to work every day on your mind, reprogramming and trying to find the identity that goes with, that is more aligned with what you want in life. For example, I really like being generous. And because the whole reason I like this is because I grew up in poverty and I didn't have much, I remember. And seeing my mom suffer, seeing my parents suffer, or the way they used to speak about money or rich people, and all of those things used to be normal for me. And now when I think different and I have a different mental programming that I choose to do with myself, my husband was the person that inspired me so much because I saw him reading every day. I saw him journaling every day. And that was what was inspiring me. I'm like, whoa, I love how instead of him grabbing his phone and going on Instagram, he just writes down what he wants. He listens to the books that he likes. He wakes up and the first thing that he starts doing is listening to his mentors. He's not on his phone or just like lost in life and not knowing what to do. And I was kind of like that. But he knew that I was on the right time. I was young enough to reprogram my mind and to choose freely what I wanted. And so that's what happened to me. I started to read more because I liked the way he thought and how he solved problems. And so I started doing more of that, writing, listening to my mentors, reading books. All these things were aligned with the person I wanted to become 5 years ago. And now it's weird to be that person, even though now I have set new goals for being another person as well. It's weird, but it's happening. It ends up happening because every book that you're reading every day, everything that you're writing, is taking you to the person that you want to become. And happiness doesn't come from what you get in life, from material. It comes from who you become. And so I felt like I have become somebody with much more integrity, with better values, and find out that what I want to do with my life is just to become more valuable for myself. Before, it used to be because I wanted to seek attention, I was seeking approval, and now it's more of like, how can I become more valuable every day and at the same time provide this value and help others? So this is the whole reason why I like doing what I am doing, because I came from not thinking this way and feeling scarcity and feeling that poverty was it and that's how I was going to live, to being exposed to a different mental programming. So these are the things that had helped me so much this year, that I have learned, and that I would love to talk more about this on next year and also on the next videos that you guys are going to see from me. So I encourage you to try these things, and I'll come up with another video like the ones that I make. They have steps and things so that you can also make it even more, so that you can also use a better structure for your goals in 2026. So I hope you really like this video. I would love to see you on the next video. Subscribe if you like this content and you would like to watch more. Bye.